You might not feel it happening. You might even believe your mind is still sharp, your memory still dependable. But what if I told you that every single day, millions of people over 60 are eating foods that slowly, silently, and permanently damage the brain? And the worst part? Most of these foods are marketed as healthy, or at least harmless. But they're not harmless. They're destructive. They change how your brain functions, how your memory works, and even how your emotions respond to everyday life. You may have noticed more forgetfulness, struggling to find words, a fog that wasn't there 5 years ago. It's not just aging. It's something deeper, and it may be on your plate. Today, we're going to uncover 5 foods that quietly erode your brain health over time. These are the very foods that shrink memory centers, trigger inflammation in the brain, and set the stage for conditions like dementia, Alzheimer's, and accelerated cognitive decline. Some of them are probably in your kitchen right now. Some might be in your favorite go-to meals. But after today, you'll know the truth. And once you see what these foods are doing to your brain, you'll never look at them the same way again. Stay with me until the very end, because the last food we're going to talk about is one that almost everyone over 60 consumes regularly, without any idea how devastating it really is. Let's begin. Number 1, margarine and processed vegetable oils. They were once hailed as the healthy alternative to butter. But margarine and highly processed vegetable oils, like soybean oil, corn oil, and canola oil, are some of the most damaging substances you can put into your body, especially after 60. Here's what makes them so dangerous. They're packed with omega-6 fatty acids, which, in excess, create chronic inflammation in the body. And where does that inflammation strike hardest? The brain. Decades of research now show that diets high in omega-6 and low in omega-3, the essential fats found in foods like salmon and walnuts, are directly linked to cognitive decline, depression, and memory loss. The brain thrives on fats. But not these ones. Take Margaret, 71. She switched to margarine years ago, thinking she was doing her heart a favor. But over time, she began noticing subtle changes, losing her train of thought mid-sentence, forgetting why she walked into a room. Her doctor dismissed it as normal aging, but deep down, Margaret knew something was off. It wasn't until she began reading about the link between brain health and diet that she realized what was happening. Processed oils also go rancid quickly, even before they hit your grocery shelf. That rancidity creates free radicals, unstable molecules that literally attack your brain cells, damaging DNA and killing off neurons. And once those neurons are gone, they don't come back. The solution? Switch to healthy fats. Use extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or even small amounts of grass-fed butter. These nourish your brain, protect your memory, and reduce inflammation instead of feeding it. If you've been cooking with vegetable oil for years, now is the time to make a change. Because while your food might taste the same, your brain will thank you for decades to come. Number 2, refined carbohydrates and white bread. They're cheap. They're convenient. And they're quietly destroying your brain function, one slice at a time. Refined carbs, like white bread, white rice, pastries, and sugary cereals, flood your body with glucose. And your brain, which runs on sugar, is extremely sensitive to these spikes. At first, you may feel energized. But over time, that constant flood of sugar wears down your brain's ability to regulate insulin, leading to something far more dangerous, insulin resistance in the brain. This condition is now being referred to by many doctors as type 3 diabetes. It's what happens when your brain can no longer process glucose efficiently. The result? Memory loss, mood swings, foggy thinking, and eventually, much worse. Imagine your brain like a car. Glucose is the fuel. But refined carbs are like dirty gasoline. They burn hot, fast, and leave behind toxic residue. Over time, that residue clogs the engine, slowing everything down. That's exactly what happens inside your head. George, 76, had eaten toast with jam every morning since retirement. He loved the routine. But by his mid-70s, he began forgetting appointments, names, even losing track of conversations. A nutritionist pointed out that the harmless toast he ate each day was flooding his system with sugar, triggering inflammation, and starving his brain of the steady fuel it needed. The fix wasn't complicated. He switched to whole grains, added fiber and protein to his breakfast, and within months, his energy improved, and so did his memory. If you've noticed brain fog, forgetfulness, or sudden mood changes, take a hard look at the carbs in your diet. The simple ones might be doing complex damage. Number 3, artificial sweeteners. You might think you're doing the right thing by cutting out sugar. But what if the substitute is even worse? Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin are found in diet sodas, sugar-free gum, light yogurts, and even medications. They were marketed as safer alternatives to sugar, especially for those watching their weight or managing diabetes. But research tells a different story. Aspartame, in particular, has been linked to changes in brain chemistry, increased risk of stroke, and memory issues. Some studies even suggest it interferes with neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, the very chemicals that regulate mood, sleep, and concentration. Betty, 68, drank 3 diet sodas a day. She thought she was being smart, avoiding sugar. But over time, she developed headaches, irritability, and increasing trouble focusing. It wasn't until she stopped drinking diet sodas entirely that the fog began to lift. Artificial sweeteners confuse the brain. They signal sweetness, but deliver no energy. This disrupts appetite regulation and causes metabolic confusion. Some studies show they even alter the gut microbiome, your second brain, leading to more inflammation and even higher blood sugar. If you're still relying on sugar-free products, ask yourself, is it really worth it? Water, herbal teas, or drinks naturally flavored with citrus or berries are not only safer, they nourish your brain instead of poisoning it slowly. Number 4, processed meats. Bacon, sausages, deli ham, salami, these foods are convenient, flavorful, and dangerous. Processed meats are loaded with sodium, preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, and in many cases, synthetic flavor enhancers that your brain simply doesn't recognize as food. But it's not just about heart health or high blood pressure. Recent research shows a strong link between regular consumption of processed meats and increased risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Why? Because nitrates, when digested, can form nitrosamines, a chemical that damages blood vessels, disrupts brain function, and even interferes with oxygen delivery to the brain. Over time, this weakens memory, increases inflammation, and accelerates cognitive aging. Harold, 73, was a creature of habit. Every day he made himself a sandwich with processed ham, a slice of cheese, and white bread. It was quick, tasty, and reminded him of simpler times. But over the years, he noticed something changing. He'd forget why he opened the fridge, mix up his medication times, struggle to concentrate on his favorite crossword puzzle. It wasn't until a caregiver suggested removing processed meats from his diet that things began to improve. His energy lifted. His mind felt sharper. He hadn't realized the innocent lunch he ate for years had been silently attacking his brain. Choose fresh, unprocessed proteins. Roast your own meats. Look for nitrate-free options. Because your memory isn't something to gamble with. Number 5, alcohol. This one might sting. You've probably been told a glass of wine a day is good for your heart. And maybe you've enjoyed your evening drink for years without giving it much thought. But after 60, alcohol starts affecting the brain very differently. Your liver metabolizes alcohol more slowly. Your brain becomes more sensitive. Even small amounts can interfere with sleep, memory, and balance. Long-term alcohol use, especially regular consumption, shrinks the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. It also weakens the frontal lobe, the area responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and focus. Think of Ruth, 75. She wasn't a heavy drinker, just a small glass of wine with dinner. But over time, she began noticing gaps in memory, especially around conversations and small tasks. Her doctor dismissed it, but a neurologist asked her to stop drinking for 3 months. The results were shocking. Her sleep improved, her focus returned, and her mental clarity soared. Alcohol doesn't just cause hangovers. It causes atrophy. It kills brain cells slowly, quietly, and permanently. And while occasional use may not destroy your brain overnight, regular use after 60 accelerates aging where it matters most, in your mind. If you've been drinking daily, consider stepping back. You don't need to give it up completely. But even cutting down can have dramatic benefits. Your brain is your most precious organ. Don't drown it drop by drop. Conclusion. These foods don't scream danger. They don't carry warning labels that say this may damage your brain. But they do. Slowly. Relentlessly. The toast at breakfast. The margarine on your vegetables. The soda you sip to avoid sugar. The wine to unwind. They seem harmless. But over time, they steal your clarity, your memory, your sharpness, and with it, your independence. But here's the good news, it's not too late. Your brain is resilient. It can heal. Neural pathways can strengthen. Memory can return. Focus can sharpen. But you have to protect it. Starting now. So ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind? Is your food helping you stay sharp, or is it silently stealing the years you still have ahead? Take a good look in your fridge, in your pantry, on your plate, and make the change today, because your future depends on it. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message resonated with you, please know it's not just information. It's a call to action. A chance to reclaim your mind, your health, your life. You've been through too much, lived through too many seasons, to let something as small as margarine or white bread steal your future. You deserve clarity. You deserve strength. You deserve more good years ahead. Take care of your brain. And thank you, truly, for watching and being here with me.